Hi everyone, welcome back. We're going to move on to the next step of our wheel puller project. In this video, we are going to take this big old slug of iron. We're going to weld it to that slug of iron. I'm going to clean that up a little bit more, make sure my welds are as clean as possible. I'm going to use the TIG welding process for this video. I just picked up an Eastwood TIG 200 LCD. So I'm kind of learning that machine and, still kind of figuring it out. This is some pretty thick metal. Hopefully this is probably about 1/4 inch thick. This machine says it goes up to 3/16 steel. So I'm going to crank it all the way up to 200 amps. I'm going to give it the beams, and we're going to see how well we can stick these two together. I'm not a professional TIG welder or a welder in general. I'm a diesel mechanic, work on motorcycles. But did go to welding school. I do know enough to get myself in trouble. And, this is the way I'm going to do it. Whether it's right or wrong is what it is. The tungsten I'm going to run is 2% thoriated. That's the red band. I've used this on my other welder. I have a Eastwood MP200i where you scratch start TIG, and it seems to work out pretty good for steel. I am going to cheat. I've got this little doohickey. It's helps you feed the filler metal. So as you're rolling, you pull this way, and it actually feeds the consumable rod out, which makes it, I don't know if it's any easier or harder. I got it for a Christmas present, so I'm going to roll with it. The other thing I'm going to use is I have a tungsten grinder. With TIG welding, you want to make sure your angles, or your tungsten is very sharp for steel. And it's at a good angle, it's pointed, and it's in a direction where it's facing, the grind lines are going to go towards the point. That way you have like a nice clean, arc, and the arc doesn't wander all over the place. And then for the consumable rod, I have some Radner. We're going to use ER70S-2. It's a good carbon steel. I'm also going to run 3/32 tungsten and filler rod. Probably 1/4 inch, you'd want to go to 1/8, but like I said, my machine only goes up to 3/16 it says. But like I said, you give it 200 amps, you feed it, you let it eat. We're going to see how that works out. We also have a couple other options. With this particular welder, I can use the push button, and then I can also use the foot pedal. So the foot pedal is cool because you can control the amperage, you can meter it. The push button's cool because it's a lot easier for tougher positions. I'm going to try using the foot pedal first, give it the beans, see how it goes. And, if it's not penetrating too well, I can always bust out the MIG welder. But the TIG it's a lot cleaner. There's not sparks flying all over the shop. And I personally am not very good at it, so I would like to get better. And with this particular project, there's no real, if it breaks, all right, we'll just re-weld it. So let's get moving. I'm going to clean my tungstens. I'm going to clean my filler rod. I'm going to clean my metal. I'm going to use acetone, clean up everything really nice. Because when you use the acetone, it makes sure there's no grit or grime or anything on the metal. And, the cleaner you can get a TIG weld, the better penetration and the better, better overall it's going to look. Like I said, I'm not a very good TIG welder, so, we need as many advantages as possible. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so I have all my tungstens prepared. They're nice and sharp. I have a few on hand if I actually dip, if you touch a tungsten to the metal right there, it's called dipping, and it contaminates the tungsten and not really good. I got it cleaned. I got a little bit of a bevel there, not too much. If I was doing something critical, I'd put more of a bevel on it, but I pretty much just need these two just to stay together. And TIG welding is strong enough to where if I get a good weld on it, it'll be just fine for the application. And then my stick out, so the diameter of the, I have a number 6 cup, and I'm actually running the stick out, kind of hard to see, but I'm running the stick out the same diameter as the cup, and you know, setting up the welder. And this is my starting point. Like I said, it's the first time I'm welding steel with this new TIG welder, so I'm just going to kind of see how it goes, and I'll bring you through and I'll show you how I set up the welder itself. Okay, so this is my TIG 200 LCD. Shout out to Aaron Motocoats, my buddy's clothing apparel. He just recently passed away, so the stickers on all my welders. So with this particular welder, it's an inverter type setup. We have a lot of adjustments we can make. So I'm going to start off my pre-flow. I'm going to do half a second. That lets the gases flow. You know, it's 100% argon. Helps keep the weld, you know, nice and clean. When I start amps, as soon as I hit the pedal, it's going to hit 30 amps. And then the upslope is how fast that it's going to go to my peak amperage, which is 200. Now that's with the pedal, so I'm going to control it with my foot, just like a gas pedal in your car. So, you know, it's pretty much going to start at 30 amps, going to shoot right up to 200 amps. You know, my on-peak time, I'm going to run about 50%. It's halfway. I'm not going to run any pulse. You know, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to modulate everything through my foot. The base amperage, you know, because there's like a frequency where it goes. I'm trying to think how to explain that. Yeah, we'll explain that in another video. My downslope, so when I let off the pedal, when I go to, you know, go to my ending amps, it's going to shoot right down from one to the other, and that's going to also be set at 30 amps. And my post flow, that's how long the gas is going to flow as soon as I let off the pedal. And you want to find the right medium for if you don't put enough post flow, you're going to get a lot of buildup on the tungsten. It's going to kind of make it really dirty, which doesn't help. If you run too much, you just kind of waste gas. So I'm running 100% argon. I'm going to start around, I think I'm going to do about 14 CFM of gas flow. And we're just going to kind of see how the welds are starting to come along, and then I may have to make some adjustments as I go along. Alright. I'm going to start making some sparks. I'm going to do some, I'm going to set this up. I'm going to start doing some tack welds. I'm going to do each of these cutouts. I'm going to tack each corner, and then I'm going to tack 90 degrees on each side, so I'll have a pretty good amount of tack welds. And then from there, we'll just start laying wire. All right. Cool. Okay, so time to judge. We started off all right, and then right here is where my my body position I had to adjust, and you can see where it changed, and then I kind of got like a little bit of a hole right there, and I started getting a lot of undercut. And there's a little bit of undercutting throughout the whole thing. So what I have to do is I have to add more filler wire. And then here's where I adjusted. And then as the metal heated up, I should have gone faster. I was just kind of hanging out there. But all in all, you know, it definitely worked all the way through. You can't really see. I got good penetration to the other side. All in all, the first steel weld with the new TIG welder, I would give it a solid D-. All right. So I think for tonight, I think I'm gonna call it. We're at about a little over 10 minutes on this video, and I want to try to keep these short and digestible. So I'm probably going to come back. I'm going to finish up the editing, and I'm going to make another video of welding. So I'll have 2 videos on welding this piece together. The next video, I'm going to try to slow down a little bit. I'm going to try to add more filler weld. So like right here was a good speed, but I didn't put enough filler. And then here, I didn't go fast enough, so I have to work on my my travel speed and my dipping. But you know, for the first weld, new welder, you know, there's a wild amount of room for improvement, but I think we're on the right track. So in the meantime, we're gonna call it for this video. We're gonna call it for tonight. I have to get to work in the morning. And you know, we'll see you again next time. You know, I was reminded that I did not let everybody know. If you're interested in these videos, you can subscribe to the channel, you can like the video. There's a little notification bell, so when I post something, you can get an alert. Channel's pretty small. I think I'm at like 100 something viewers. I'm just kind of a yeah, I'm a newbie at this whole filming thing, and you know, we're just kind of figuring it out as we go along. You know, I'm far from a professional welder, far from a professional filmographer. The only thing I have in life that I am a professional as a diesel mechanic, and this is not that. So, with that being said, everybody have a good night, and we will catch you on the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.